Hey everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Ian. Welcome back to the channel, Ian the Reader. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. Today I just wanted to hop in and share with you guys my kind of like summer reading plans. To be honest, I've been in such a reading mood lately that I haven't been planning like full-fledged TBRs as much. I did just want to talk about some of the books though that I'm hoping to get to in the May, June, July, August kind of time frame. Now, like I said, I'm not going to be talking about everything I'm planning on reading throughout this. This is just like some generic, like I hope to get to these in the next few months kind of thing. That being said, in July, we will be doing another round of Battle of the Bands hosted by the Bookish Drummer over on the Bookish Drummer Discord. So I will be having a full TBR video for that sometime next month. I would imagine like early to mid June, I'll have my July TBR and all the links to sign up for that readathon in that video, but these are like kind of the other books that I'm planning on reading. So I don't think that any of the books I'm going to be talking about today are going to be on my July TBR. These are just generally some books that I'm hoping to get to sometime this month or like through August at some point. So hope you enjoy. Let me know if any of these books interest you or what books you're really excited to be getting to this summer. Okay, so like I said, I have been in very much of like a reading mood lately. Like I've been all over the place with what genres I've been reading. It's just whatever works for me in the moment, and I'm going with it. That being said, I am trying to train myself a little bit to get away from that. So in addition to like the stuff that I am going to just be mood reading, I'm going to be starting a new series that I'll be filming and putting on like Instagram and TikTok because they're going to be shorter videos, and I'm calling it Reading Roulette, where basically I have to pick a book at random from my shelves and physically read it, and I give myself 50 pages, and if at that point I'm enjoying it, I keep reading, and if I'm not, then I have to unhaul it. So there's a little bit more pressure of I can't just like put it down and set it for later, because I continuously do that. I'll pick up books and I'll be like, yeah, this is pretty good, but I'm gonna set it down and start it later, and then I never do. But in this case, it has a lot of benefits in my opinion. Like, first of all, it'll help me stop mood reading all the time, because there's a book that I have to read, and if I don't read it, then I have to get rid of it. Secondly, it'll help me read some of these books back here that I own and have not read yet, because I have somewhere around 300 physically owned unread books, which is too much. And then additionally, it'll just help me get back to physically reading more. I'm really gonna be hoping to get away from spending so much time on my phone. I definitely have gotten a little bit out of control with that and have not been physically reading nearly as much. And I make excuses all the time. Like, yes, I work a lot and I have 2 young kids, so that takes up a lot of my time, but I find time to like doom scroll on TikTok or Instagram all the time. And if I just carry a book with me and I stay off my phone, then I think I can do this. So yes, that has started. The first book I am doing for that is The Princess Bride. This was my random pick, and I am really excited about it. I started it, I think, a day and a half ago, and I'm about a third of the way through it. It's wonderful, so delightful. Like, I'm having a blast. I have seen the movie a number of times, but it's been over a decade. So everything that's coming back, it's like pleasantly familiar, but not like, oh my gosh, I know what's exactly gonna happen next. It's like as it's happening, I'm like, oh yeah, this totally happened in the movie. So I'm having a great time with this. It is so fun, so funny, and just like a great read. So very excited to continue this and to continue on with this little challenge that I have set for myself. Hopefully it goes well. Next, I wanna talk about some series that I'm planning on getting into or continuing this summer. So first of all, I finally committed to my Stormlight reread / continuing on with it. So in May, I've already finished rereading The Way of Kings, and it was so nice. Like, it was so good, so stinking good. So then next month in June, I'll be rereading Words of Radiance. And then in July, I will be reading Edge Dancer. August, I'll be reading Oathbringer. And then after that, I think I have to read Dawn Shard, which that's where all the new stuff comes in, because Oathbringer is the last one that I've read. So in September, I'll read Dawn Shard, and then in October / November, I will read Rhythm of War, and then I'll be caught up on Stormlight and be ready for Wind and Truth when it comes out. So very excited about that. And like I said, my reread of The Way of Kings was like the most delightful experience. It was I knew it was good, but it's been, I think I read The Way of Kings and Words of Radiance back in 2017 maybe, or 2018. And so it's been a long while. And so I remembered how good it was, but I didn't really remember how good it was, you know? And so getting back into it, like all the Bridge 4 stuff was just chef's kiss, amazing, so stinking good. So I'm loving Stormlight again, so excited. And like, even though these are chunky books, like the reread was so pleasant. Like I was actually in the middle of a reading slump when I picked up The Way of Kings again, and I breezed through it like in 2.5, 3 days, which that is a chunky book. So I'm loving it, cannot wait to continue and finally read Dawn Shard and Rhythm of War, so yeah! Okay, so this next thing I want to talk to you about, I'm actually going to need some help on. So I recently finished The Dark Tower, which was like my big fantasy series that is longer and that I had not read any of the books really, so it was like, it took a little bit more time and energy and focus. That was my big series, and so I finally finished The Dark Tower, so now I'm at a point where I'm looking for my next big fantasy series that is brand new to me. So like, yes, I'm reading Stormlight, but I've read a good chunk of those already, and so I'm very familiar with the characters and the world and all that jazz. So I have 2 series that I've started both of them, and I need help deciding which one to continue this summer. First up, we have A Song of Ice and Fire. I read A Game of Thrones back in like 2016 and I adored it, but I was very new to the fantasy genre, so I just set it aside, needing a little bit of a break, never continued. I have watched the TV show. I know that it's very different later on in the books. I know the first book sticks pretty faithfully to, or the first season sticks pretty faithfully to the book, and then it kind of departs from there. But I really want to read this series. I've heard such incredible things about it, even though it may never get finished. Who knows? Who cares? I'm just down for some good stories. So this is option 1. Option 2 is The Wheel of Time. So the only reason they both have pros and cons. So for this, it's only 5 books, and I may have only read 1, but that's a 5th. I've read a good enough portion of it, and I'm familiar with the characters in that I've watched the show, and yeah, I really want to read this. And then with like the House of the Dragon craze going on, it's a good time to read it. That being said, with The Wheel of Time, this is more fresh in that I just read The Eye of the World and The Great Hunt back at the end of 2023. So continuing this would be a more current, like, yeah, I'm continuing what I just read. I wouldn't have to go back and reread. I may watch like a recap video because it's been like 6 months since I read those, but I would just be continuing on with this series. So I don't know. I really can't decide between these two. So get in the comments, tell me what to do, because I know they're both like 2 of the biggest fantasy series of all time as far as like how people feel about them and the fan bases and and I just can't decide. So I hope to read both of them at some point probably, but it's tough. And I own all of the books for both series, so that's good. I would be reading books I already own, so yeah, help me out. Another series that I'm hoping to continue and actually get caught up on, and this is totally random and it's one that I don't own, is the Will Trent series by Karen Slaughter. I love Karen Slaughter's books. I actually have not read any standalones by her, which I do hope to fix very soon. Maybe I'll do that this summer as well if I'm feeling it. But I've read all of the Grant County series, which is 6 books, and I'm currently in the middle of book 7 of the Will Trent series, I think. And there's, I want to say the 12th book is coming out at the end of August. So I'm planning on reading 2 a month to get caught up to read that book when it comes out. So I'll finish 7 now, and then I'll do 8 and 9 in June, 10 and 11 in July, and be ready for book 12 when it comes out in August. So yeah, really liking this mystery series. You can hear somebody mowing their lawn outside, which is a really random time to do that because it's been raining all afternoon, but whatever. Yeah, Will Trent, back to Will Trent. Really great mystery series, wonderful characters, and it's like a long mystery series, so you really get to watch the characters develop and grow and overcome a lot of like their past traumas, and these characters have a lot of trauma, dude, like a lot. But be forewarned because these books get really dark. A lot of the crimes are very grisly. The description, she does not hold back. I have had to like set books down before, especially in the Grant County series. There have been some moments where I was like, do I really want to be reading this right now? But the characters and the journey and the ultimate mystery, like it ends up being so worth it. So love the Will Trent books, and I will definitely get caught up on the series because these are very easy to read as well because I love the characters and her mysteries are just so compelling. They truly are. So yeah, I'll be getting through this series. I'm very excited to be caught up on the Will Trent series. It's gonna be awesome. From this point on, for the most part, it's just gonna be like random books that are like very much on my radar right now that I'm excited to be reading. Ooh, that being said, I also do want to mention 2 other things. I will be joining 2 buddy reads on the Bookish Drummer Discord. First of those is for, oh my gosh, I don't know what this series is called. Nope, I don't. I know the books are like Age of something, and I know it's by Michael J. Sullivan. I couldn't remember for a second. Yeah, okay. It's that series. Age of Myth is the first book. Age of Legends, Age of Heroes, I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited about these. Apparently not that excited, but yeah, this is a prequel series to his really popular Rhaeria Chronicles books, and it takes place like thousands of years beforehand. I've never read any of those books, so this seems like a really good starting point, starting with the prequels. So I'm really excited about that, and to finally read some of this author. They're doing one a month starting in June, and I will at the very least start this series. I do not, historically, do not do very well with committing to long series buddy reads. I drop out a lot, like a terrible person, but I'm at least gonna read the first book. If I end up enjoying it, I'll continue. Maybe one a month, maybe not. I'm gonna try my best. But the first book is Age of Myth, and I will be reading that in June, so hopefully I love it. And the other buddy read going on the Bookstrummer Discord is a buddy read it's the Ray Bradbury Book Club, and they're gonna be doing one Ray Bradbury book a month, starting with The Illustrated Man, I want to say. I have them stacked in order over here so I can just look. Yeah, okay. The Illustrated Man is the the June pick, and then it's Fahrenheit 451 in July, and who knows from there. But I have been really wanting to read more Ray Bradbury. He's one of the authors I've been wanting to get to for quite some time. I've read Fahrenheit 451, and I own a pretty good deal of his books, so this is perfect. And it's not a series, so hopefully I can be better about committing to this. Fingers crossed, but I'm gonna try my best, and I'm really excited to read more Ray Bradbury, so hopefully it goes well. Yeah, but from this point on, for the most part, we're just gonna be talking about random books that are on my radar and I'm particularly excited to read. First up, we have The Will of the Many. So I'm actually gonna be doing a buddy read with some friends of mine, Kyle and Alex and Jordan. Link their channels down below. We'll be doing a buddy read of this soon. I think maybe in June. I think that's what I saw. Yeah, we're gonna probably be buddy reading this in June, unless something else happens and it doesn't happen in June. But I'm excited to read it. So I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I'm gonna try to keep my expectations low, because historically when I go into fantasy books with really high expectations, I'm disappointed. So maybe I'm gonna hate it. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be terrible, no good, very bad. But I'm really excited. So yeah, there's that one. As far as a classic goes, I'm really excited about reading David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. And to be honest, I've been wanting to read this for quite some time. I've been itching to read it, actually. I'll pick it up every once in a while and read a little bit more. But I had this mass market paperback that the front cover was kind of torn, and I want to read it physically. And so I finally bought another copy. Not that this cover is great, but it was $250, and I kind of wanted a bigger paperback to read because this is so thick. So I just bought this last week for like I said, $250, so can't beat that. And I will be reading this summer. That's the plan. Yeah. Another classic, more of a modern classic than David Copperfield, The Grapes of Wrath. This is another one I want to read physically because East of Eden is my favorite book of all time, if you somehow don't know that. And it is the only big Steinbeck book that I've read, and I did read that physically, and it just clearly blew me away because it's my favorite book ever. So hopefully The Grapes of Wrath will be good. I don't think I'll love it as much as East of Eden, just because the themes in that book really spoke to me. But I do hope to love this. This is probably his most famous book. Either this one, East of Eden, or Of Mice and Men. Those are the three really, really popular ones. So I've read Of Mice and Men and East of Eden. Very excited to finally read The Grapes of Wrath. Yeah. Next we have a random book, but one that I've been kind of holding off on because it's set during the summer and I just kind of wanted to read it during the summer. That is Small Mercies by Dennis Lehane. So I really love Dennis Lehane. I've given 3 of his books 5 stars of the 4 or 5 books that I've read. And so this is one that I've heard really good things about. It's his newest book. It came out last year and I found a copy for $1.50 at a library sale, picked it up, and I was gonna read it, but then, like I said, knew it was set during the summer and I just want that kind of immersion. So Small Mercies, very excited to finally be able to read this in the right season. So yeah. Next up is a book that I was supposed to read already, and I haven't because it just wasn't the right time. Like I said, I've been mood reading a lot. So that book is A Song for Arbonne by Guy Gavriel Kay. This will be my first Guy Gavriel Kay book, and I've heard such incredible things about it. The people who have read this book say it's one of their favorite books of all time. And I just need to get into it. That's all it is. I tried this on audiobook and it just, I I was listening and not in it. I tried listening to the first 2 chapters like 5 times, and for some reason I just could not grasp what was going on, who the characters were, all that. It really throws you into like the political stuff going on. So I think physically reading it, or maybe immersion reading until I get a good grasp of what's going on, is gonna be a good idea for this book, but I swear I'll read it this summer. I swear. Next, I wanna read another Haruki Murakami, this time my first novel by him, although I do have plans to read one in July, so you'll have to wait for that TBR, but I really wanna read the Wind Up Bird Chronicles, to the point that I actually read like 60 pages of this the other day. This is what I'm talking about, where I'll pick up a book and read like 50 pages of it and be like, yeah, that was so good, I'm gonna come back to that later, and then I don't. So I will read this summer, hopefully enjoy it. It's very slow, but I'm down for some slow stuff sometimes. That's fine. As long as I know that's what I'm getting into, should be fine. Yeah. Last couple, I really want to read my first Dostoevsky this year, and I think that a short one is the right way to go. And this is my 24 books to read in 2024, so Notes from Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky is the plan. It's short. I can probably get through it in a day or so. I mean, I've heard it's kind of dense and just a bit depressing, so I may not want to rush through it. I may want to take my time, but I can force myself to read this much, and hopefully I'll enjoy it too. That's the plan. We'll see what happens, but I'm gonna try my best to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna read this. Don't know when, maybe in July, actually. Maybe I can get it to fit in my TBR. So we'll see what happens, but that's the plan. And last, but certainly not least, and like I said, I'm gonna read a bunch of stuff. Like, I read too much. All these audiobooks just zooming on by at like 2.5 speed. It's too much. I should slow down, but I'm not gonna, because I get the thrill from finishing books. I can't stop. So I do want to read The Power of the Dog and the continuation of The Power of the Dog. So this series, this trilogy, I don't know if I'll finish the whole trilogy this summer, so I only wanted to talk about The Power of the Dog. But this is by Don Winslow. I did binge read his Danny Ryan trilogy back in April, but these are significantly longer than the Danny Ryan books. So this is like a crime novel about the Mexican cartel, I believe, and the war on drugs. And I'm down for it. So I'm excited about that. I do own all 3 books, but like I said, they're pretty chunky. And this one I will at the very least get to this summer. That's the plan. Those are all the books, my friends. There are obviously, like I said, a lot more books that I'm planning on reading, and you will see quite a few books in my July TBR, because that has to be 20 books. Actually 25 books now if I want to fully do everything I can in that readathon. So be looking for that in the coming weeks. That being said, these are the books that I hope to get to at some point, non-specifically in the months of summer. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you like any of these. Tell me which ones I should really prioritize. And please, dear God, tell me if I should read The Wheel of Time or Song of Ice and Fire, because I'm stuck. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.